John Rawls. John Rawls is this one, very famous guy. In the middle of utilitarianism, he explained very easily and very clever way what kind of limits utilitarianism has. Let's begin with Rawls now. No? In 1971, he wrote a very famous book, Theory of Justice. So, according to utilitarians, it doesn't matter that there will be inequalities. It is normal. No, there is a diversity in each society, also with the welfare of each one. So, he refuses to accept inequalities, even if they secure maximum welfare. But at the same time, that was utilitarianism. At the same time, he was against egalitarianism, against the Soviets, against the communist idea that everyone should have the same, exactly the same thing, no matter if you work or if you don't, no matter if you are produce a lot of things, I don't know, a professor, a lot of articles, publishing, lectures. I don't know that just is there because he has a contract, an agreement with the state, and he will show up in the office on time, but he will not do anything. He will say, no, you cannot treat everyone exactly equal. There should be a middle point, according to him. The first question is not about equality. Remember Durkheim, no? The first question is about equality. No. Here, the first question is not about equality. It's about justice. It's about justice. And even if that is prior to the question of happiness. Remember the Aristotle, no? The first question, what is happiness? Can we have the same happiness for everyone? Remember our first lecture, no? You can check again the video, first lecture, if you don't remember that. So, what is justice? The problem is that Rawls never answered very well. At what point did he say justice is fairness? Fairness related to freedom and equality. Yeah, it was not so clear, but in any case, he said it's the premier virtue of society. Everything should be ruled by justice. And he revisits a theory of Hobbes, Locke, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and many others scholars of the centuries ago that talk about the social contract. For sure you remember, no? Before society, it's a hypothetical situation. Before society, people are good or bad according to each author. But when we get together, well, there are many problems with property, with many other things. So we should create an agreement to put at peace society. Okay. So he said the same. He said the same. We should create an agreement in society to put to create order, peace, security, and many other things. And this is agreement. We should go to that original position to understand what kind of laws are good or bad, and to create good laws. So, one example of the original position. What is the original position according to these authors? If you know exactly, I mean to Rawls, if you know exactly what is your position in the line, you are, for example, I bring to the class a great piece of cake. A great piece of cake, red velvet cake. I don't know if you like the red velvet cake that you have in front. And you say, wow, this professor is amazing. but you are in the line to get a piece of cake, no? And you are the last one in the line. And you see that the first one is cutting a very big piece of cake. The second one, a very big piece. No? You say, well, you are in the last part of that line. So you don't expect to receive so much. No. We are 80 people in this class, and you are in the last place. So what a pity. So what we have to do to be just, to be fair. So the one that is cutting the cake should cut at the very beginning. If you are cutting, well, forget about, you should act as you don't know in which part of the line you are. If that is the original position. No? If you don't know in which part of the line you will cut, how you will cut that cake. Exactly in the same parts, in the same size, all of them, because you don't know in which part of the line you will be. Okay, you don't know. That will be the fairest and just decision. That is the idea. So let's put now with technical words the same idea that I put with this example. This is the veil of ignorance. The veil of ignorance. No. The veil of ignorance presupposes that you don't know in which part of society you are. You don't know if you are citizen 1, 2, or 3. And you know, for example, that you have to take one decision. Be aware of these examples, that is important. You don't know if you are in circumstances 1, you are citizen 1, 2, or 3. In which circumstance you are, no? And there are 3 possible decisions. In the first decision, citizen 1 will lose $600, and the citizen 2 or 3 will win something. Will win the first one $800 and more than $1,000. In decision 2, even citizen 1 will be in the worst position ever. No? They will lose almost $1,000, $950. But the outcome for citizen 2 and 3 will be the best one, and in total will be the best outcome, because you have this, you lose this, you have more this, and you have 2,060 for someone. No? At the end of the day, the total income is the best one here. It's decision number 2. And you have also decision number 3. In this decision, nobody will win so much. Nobody will win so much, but nobody will lose. Nobody will lose. This will win just $500, this $600, and this $700. So now the question for you: which decision you will take? D1, D2, or D3? D3. Anyone else? No one will take the maximum welfare. Maximum welfare is D2. Maximum welfare. Nobody. D3. Most of people will say D3. Because why? Because you don't know if you will be citizen 1, and if you will be this citizen 1, at least not to lose anything. No? There is a 33% of possibilities to be citizen 1. Yeah. Most people will say D3 because it's the fairest one. Yeah. That is the idea. That is the idea. If you don't know in which part of society you are, you will say, well, probably I would put a very impartial decision in such a way that if I am any one of these guys, at least I will not lose anything, everything. At least I will save my house. At least I will save my I don't know, my insurance in case of illness and many other things. Yeah, this is the common answer, no? And that's why Rawls was very successful. He said, let's put first in easy words. In easy words, the solution of Rawls is the maximum welfare securing a minimum, securing the weakest in society. He said, first, we should secure the weakest, to give house, food, shelter, clothes to everyone, to secure this. No one will lose everything. Securing the minimum, well, we can think in the welfare. That is the idea of, now, I will say exactly the same, but in a more technical way, that with the words of Rawls. No? There are two principles of justice. Two principles. First one, each person is to have an equal right to the most extensive total system of equal basis, basic liberties, equal basic liberties for securing the minimum, remember, no? Compatible with a similar system of liberty for all. And the second one, there could be inequalities. Social and economic equalities are to be arranged so that they are both to the greatest benefit of the least advantage and attached to the offices and positions open to all under condition of equality of opportunity. So more or less, this is the second idea, maximum welfare. There could be inequalities, yes, but at least we should give to everyone equality of opportunity, and the decision should be for the greatest advantage of everyone. Can you see? It is very interesting. It's very interesting. All social values are to be distributed equally, unless an unequal distribution is to everyone's advantage. Okay, that is more or less the same idea. Once again, the two ideas: to secure the minimum, and then there could be inequalities, but with equal opportunity if you secure the minimum. That is more or less the idea. Finally, the problem of the veil of ignorance, I don't know if you realize that there could be a problem, is that many times, first, it's an hypothetical idea. When you have the veil of ignorance, well, never. You always are part of the society and you know which part of the society you are. And if you have to decide, if he will say, try to be impartial, yes. But many times the problem, the ignorance veil, is that it's very ignorant. If you don't know which player is this one, if you don't know, for example, that the bishop is the journalist, or the horse is the military, or the government is this one, you will have no idea how to play. Yeah. For example, let's think in Kenya. If you don't know that in Kenya there are 42 tribes, and each one with their own traditions, laws, cosmovision, and many other things, well, you cannot rule in Kenya. You should know at least many things of each player to understand. And you will say, yeah, I can know these kind of things, but I will not if I'm part of this tribe or of this tribe. Yeah, but you should know as much as you can. You should know as much as you can, and then you will get better decisions. If you understand the person or self and the others, I think that you can have better outcomes. Well, according to Rawls, the principle of justice are chosen behind the veil of ignorance. And I will say, well, not that much ignorance, but a lot of understanding reality of each one helps us to understand that and to have better outcomes.